example number 1. Solve and verify. So question A, we have 3x squared plus 75 equaling negative 30x. And we have B, 5x squared equals negative 20x. So let's start off with A. What I want to do is I want to set each side equal to 0. Sorry, not each side. I want to set one side equal to 0. So I'm going to add 30x to both sides. 3x squared plus 30x plus 75 equals 0. I know that I have a factor of 3 in all three of these terms, so I can just divide all by 3, because if I divide 0 by 3, I still get 0. So I can say x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. That's something that we did yesterday in the example in class. So two numbers that multiply out to 25 and add up to 10x. Well, I think I got it. Kind of with what was going on up here, I know that it's going to be x plus 5 squared equals 0. So this number right here is 25. I take the square root of that times 2 and I get 10. So I know it's a perfect square factor. Now if you want to see that slowed down just a little bit, I'm going to do that. So two numbers that multiply out to 25 and add up to 10, it's going to be x plus 5 and x plus 5. We know that since the coefficient is 1, we can just factor like this, which means that it's x plus 5 squared equals 0. That means if I were to solve this, I know that x equals negative 5. Because if I set x equal to negative 5 here, it would be negative 5 plus 5, which would equal 0. So let's verify it. Left-hand side, right-hand side. So in my original equation, I had 3 negative 5 squared. Only x was here, but now I'm going to substitute it in for my, substitute negative 5 in for my x, plus 75, and my right-hand side is negative 30x, but we solved x, and it is negative 5. So we have 3 times negative 5 squared is 25, plus 75. 75 plus 75 is 150. Let's see what happens here. We know that this is going to be positive, and 30 times 5 is bingo bango 150. Left-hand side equals right-hand side. We're good. Let's do the same thing for B. So I'm going to set one side equal to 0. So 5x squared plus 20x equals 0. I don't want to divide by x on either side, because we're actually going to lose a solution then. So when I get a question that looks like this, what I can do is factor out the common factors. Now, for both of these, we know that 5x is a common factor because 5x goes into both. So 5x because 5x squared divided by 5x is just going to be x, plus 20x divided by 5x is going to be 4, equals 0. So we have two solutions here. We have this x here, and we have x plus 4. So if we use the 0 property, this means that 5x times x plus 4 equals 0. So there are two different values. I can say x equals 0, or I can say that x equals negative 4. Because if I substitute x equal to 0, it's 0 times x plus 4, or 0 times 4, which is 0. And on the other hand, I can put in negative 4 into here, and I say, okay, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, and then negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So this would be negative 20, but this would be 0. So the end result would be 0. Let's do our verification. Let's start out with x equals 0. So left-hand side, right-hand side. 5 times 0 squared, 0. Negative 20 times 0 is 0. Left-hand side equals right-hand side. Woot woot, we're good. What happens when x equals negative 4? We have 5 times negative 4 squared. 5 times 16, which is just 80. Let's see the right-hand side. So negative 20x, but x is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 20 is 80. Left-hand side equals right-hand side. So we know that both x equals 0 and x equals negative 4 are solutions.